Questions? A couple quick questions? Yes, sir.
Senator Thune, yesterday we saw the House Progressives sort of flex their muscles for the first time with the eviction moratorium. How concerned are you that could derail some of the moderation in the budget reconciliation with Senators Manchin and Sinema? Because you're counting on them to sort of keep the price in line, even though you don't agree with it in general. So how do you see that sort of playing in the future in this and in other battles between the House and the Senate?
Well, I think that the Bernie Sanders wing of the party is the tail wagging the dog. I think that the progressive wing is where the energy is. It's where the political money is on their side, and so when they pretty much when they play the music, Democrats up your dance, and I just think that's the way it's going to be. I think you're going to have a lot of pressure. Particularly on people like Sinema and Manchin, who otherwise might be inclined to vote for less in taxes, vote for less spending, that are going to be under enormous amounts of pressure because that wing of their party, in both the House and frankly in the Senate, I think is really ascendant today. Yeah.
You said that you guys would try and do whatever you could to stop this. Is there any possibility you would consider trying to deny quorum if needed?
Well, that was a suggestion that Lindsay was being creative with, and my guess is that that's probably not something that ends up happening. But I do think whatever we can do between now and whenever the budget resolution, or when the budget resolution comes up, and then follow on the reconciliation bill, we're going to do everything we can to stop them. And I hope that we have some Democrats who will help, because if this is in size and scope and scale what we hear and believe it's going to be, is going to be catastrophic for a lot of folks around the country, namely a lot of the farmers and ranchers who would get hit with the double death tax. I mean, think about what they're talking about here. This has never happened before. They're talking about taxing unrealized gains. Not only do you get a death tax, but they're raising the capital gains tax rate from 20% up to a high rate of 43.4% for people in the high income categories. But they're also applying that to a lot more income, which hasn't been realized yet. I mean, this is unprecedented as a matter of tax policy, but it's an example of the extremes that they have to go to raise the amount of revenue they need to pay for all this spending. Yes, ma'am.
Just looking past the reconciliation process with respect to the debt limit, it seems unlikely that Democrats may fold that into the reconciliation package and may potentially be tying that to a short-term government spending bill. What is your position on that? Would it change your position on the debt limit increase?
I think that they need to do the debt limit at 50. I mean, they literally are trying to the amount of spending, the amount of taxation they're talking about, and frankly, they've already done. I mean, they did $2 trillion, as has been pointed out already earlier this year, which has given us this inflation problem that everyone's been talking about, that's affecting every American's pocketbook. But if they try and do $3.5 trillion, or what many are arguing, if you look at real dollars over the true window of time there, about $5 to $5.5 trillion in spending, then they ought to own raising the debt. I mean, they're the ones that are adding to it, and they ought to do that under their 51 vote majority. I can't think of a single Republican who wants to help them do that.
Last question.
Here.
So, how much help or cover do you think you might get from the parliamentarian in this process? Obviously, Democrats are trying to put a ton of stuff like immigration changes and things like that into this bill. And how aggressively do you plan to lobby to use the rules to your advantage to keep stuff like that out of whatever they bring to the floor?
Both sides will no doubt be working the refs, and the parliamentarian is the referee. And my observation in the past, at least, is then she tries to play it down the middle. And I don't think that she's going to try and advantage one side or the other, but expect them to make every possible effort to include things that are completely unrelated to spending or revenue, which is what the threshold should be under a reconciliation bill, or otherwise you're in violation of the Byrd rule. I think they're going to try and draw loose connections to everything they do, including immigration. But it has to have a direct impact, not an indirect impact on spending or revenue. So if they come up with policy measures that are, like I said, where they have to manufacture some argument that it fits somehow within the parameters for what's allowed, I hope that they get busted for it. And we'll have people there that are working them too. And I think, this is a hard job, and I'm not suggesting that it's not. I think that there is, if you look historically in previous bills like this where this mechanism has been used, both sides try to talk to the parliamentarian, but it's clearly outside the realm of what it was intended for if it's designed to make major policy changes that are unrelated to spending and revenue. That is the purpose of this, and it should not be abused and misused, and we will fight at every turn their attempts to do that.